just thinking about collective behaviour, partly triggered by Halcyon's video, which was taken down recently, where he's talking about, I don't know, herd behaviour or something like that. And also a couple of other things I've been thinking about. And I'm particularly thinking about mobs, packs and swarms, because they're all forms of social organisation. You know, they're all kind of large bodies of entities, large bodies of animals of some kind, behaving in a way which is collective. But they're so different, you know, a mob, a pack and a swarm. And they're, you know, I don't know how you would measure such a thing, but it seems to me that their intelligence is different. I mean, at least to the extent that intelligence is, you know, a measure of complex, appropriate, adaptive behaviour. That's just my definition right now. But if that was a definition of intelligence, then mobs, packs and swarms behave completely differently and at different levels of intelligence. I did read once, and it was just an aphorism. It wasn't a scientific find or anything like that. But the idea was that if you want to know what the IQ of a mob is, you take the average IQ of the people present in the mob and divide it by the number of people. You know, so if everybody's there's got an average IQ of 100, and then there's 100 people there, then the IQ of your mob is 1. And that's, obviously it's a bit of a joke, but mobs are really stupid. You know, mobs are the kinds of things that, you know, just do really destructive behaviour, just self-destructive to their individual members, to the coherence of the mob itself, and to everything around it. You know, a mob is not capable of intelligent, complex, adaptive, appropriate behaviour. I think packs are probably slightly more intelligent. I've been trying to think of an equivalent to this IQ thing about mobs, and I think I would say something like, you know, a pack is probably as smart as its leader. You know, its IQ is probably the equivalent of its leader, and the more hierarchical the pack is, the closer the IQ will approach that IQ of the leader. You know, a disorganised pack, a pack that's got some internal dysfunction going on, will creep towards the condition of the mob. But a really tight, well-disciplined pack, just like a well-disciplined army, is as smart as its commander, as smart as its pack leader, I think. But I think a swarm is different. I mean, swarms don't look very intelligent because we only think of animals that are like flies or bees or insects or locusts, certainly, as those things that swarm. Because it's only those really simple animals anyway that behave in ways we think of as swarming that we don't usually regard swarming as intelligent behaviour. But I think it is. I mean, certainly by contrast to the, you know, when you consider what kind of simple entities they're starting with, the fact that it is just a bloody locust or a fly or a bee or something like that, it's astonishing that it's able to do that they are able to do what they do. And I think this, again, I'm trying to find another phrase which talks about it in terms of IQ. I can't find one yet, but I'm guessing that it's, you know, but I'm sure that a swarm is capable of behaving in a way that is more intelligent than any individual member of that swarm. And again, I'm talking about complex, appropriate, adaptive behaviour. But as I say, you know, swarms tend to be very simple things, and all these simple things swarm, so we don't really think of them as being very intelligent. But I'm sure a swarm of locusts is in many ways behaving in ways which are more intelligent than an individual locust is capable of doing. Actually, I think of driving as swarming quite often. I kind of wish swarming was introduced as part of driving school behaviour. You know, because when I'm driving down the motorway here, I firmly believe that I am driving in a way which is safer and ultimately more intelligent if I don't think of myself as an individual, but I think of myself as a swarm, as a swarming animal here. just following the very simple rules that swarms do, you know, staying a certain distance away from the vehicle in front, staying a certain distance away from the vehicles to the side, and watching out for gaps. You know, I mean, that's basically it, really. But you follow those simple heuristics, and altogether, if all of us did, if all of the drivers on this motorway followed that simple heuristic or something like it, I think we'd see far fewer accidents. Accidents tend to happen when people stop behaving like part of a swarm and want to behave individualistically. So they go herring up the inside and overtake too close, or something like that, you know, because they're on their own little track and they've got their own end point in mind. They're not thinking about the activity of the overall swarm. Sounds a bit Borg-like, I know, but that's not what I mean. I mean, my kids are in cars. I've got cars right now, and one of the things I try to impress upon them is, you know, yes, of course, it's absolutely right. They should express their individuality and express their idiosyncrasies. But please, you know, express that in the design of your car and the choices of which air freshener you hang up in your paint scheme and what item you hang in the back window. Don't express your individuality through your individual driving style, you know. That's not smart, I don't think. It's not smart as an individual, and it doesn't create a smart swarm. Yeah. Now, just imagine now, you know, just to develop that a little bit, we just imagine how smart the swarm of humans can be if we did manage to connect ourselves together in the way that, you know, flies and gnats and bees and wasps and things manage to connect themselves together in those swarms. You know, we find it a bit repulsive, I know, and repellent, because it feels like we'd be sacrificing individual identity. But put that to one side, because there's no reason why that would happen. I don't really think a locust sacrifices its identity when it, you know, joins part of the swarm. It doesn't happen, really. So we have to just kind of forget that would happen. That wouldn't happen if we swarmed. Well, they probably would if we became part of a mob or a pack. No, but if we swarmed, we would be as fully functional as we are now, as fully functional as our independence allows us to be. But all of that collective independence would be marshalled and aggregated and organised. I mean, the way it already is, you know. I'm not blind to the fact that culture that's pretty much what culture is, isn't it? You know. It is the organised total aggregate of human activity and behaviours. But I'm sure we could do it a lot better. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah, just to return to this YouTube thing, this Halcyon video which prompted this line of thought for me, really. I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of swarming and pack-like and mob-like behaviour on YouTube recently, around bits of drama or perhaps conflicts of interest in terms of ideas or the various factionalisation that takes place around philosophies and religions, you know, everything else that are interesting, really. But I found it so interesting to watch, you know, the swarm, the pack, and the mob in action there. I tell you what it reminds me. It reminds me of that scene in that film Galaxy Quest. If you don't know Galaxy Quest, it's a good film. It's a spoof science fiction film with Sigourney Weaver and a bunch of other people. It's a really good film in which there's a bunch of fairly washed up has-been actors, a bit like Star Trek actors who used to be in a sci-fi film 15 years, a sci-fi TV series like 15 years earlier, basically just hobbling through the convention circuit wearing their old uniforms. These people get mistaken as actual astronauts by an interstellar civilization, and they're taken out into space, and they have to act as heroes, act as if they were the characters. It's a great film, very funny. But there's one scene in it where the pilot, he has to fly through a minefield, a minefield in space. He does it twice, actually. The first time he's bumping around doing all kinds of things. The second time he does it, he's become a better pilot by this stage, and he's flying through this minefield, and these mines are magnetic, and he's being chased. Actually, he's being chased by the bad guy. So it's not Sauron, but something like that. He's being chased by the bad guy through this minefield, and what he does, the pilot, is he deliberately flies quite close to these magnetic mines. So when he comes out the other end of the minefield, he's trailing this great wake of mines behind him. You know, just like loads of explosives just following behind him. And what he does is he flies his ship straight at the enemy's battleship, and then turns away at the last second. So all these magnetic mines just kind of sweep on and take out this opposing enemy ship. And it feels a bit like, sorry, a bit of a deviation there, but sometimes it feels a little bit like that with some of the kind of dramatic interrelationships that go on here on YouTube. You know, because it doesn't apply to me because I don't have that many followers and subscribers and viewers, but for those people who do, it is a bit like they're dragging mines, you know, they're carrying mines in their wake, as either as part of a mob or as part of a pack. And wherever they go, these mines just follow them and take out the opposition, or at least cause all kinds of collateral damage as they go past. Yeah, I think if YouTube was more like a swarm and less like a set of packs, that wouldn't happen quite so much. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, we should be a swarm of equally intelligent and equally not equally intelligent in an absolute sense, but equally independent agents, held together by the collective protocols of a system in the way that swarms are, rather than a pack of drones, magnetic mines, sweeping along behind a charismatic YouTuber with a lot of subscribers. That's what I think.